Night, guys. Good night. Welcome to another Sports Frenzzyy live show. And we're here tonight to discuss some actions that took place over the weekend and some things that we never got to discuss. And as always, I'm your host, Levon, and with me tonight I have Jason so far. Hopefully, I'll have some other people join in. But for now, to be me and Jason rolling on the ship. So, boss man, a lot of tennis action took place over the weekend, and we never got to discuss it at all because of the packed football weekend. But here we are, and first and foremost, we have to give a huge shout out and huge congratulations to the heir apparent, Naomi Osaka. She was absolutely brilliant through the Australian Open. Through the entire tournament, she only dropped one set. That to show you how impressive she was right through it. And boss man, this she reminded me of a younger version of Serena herself, the person who she beat in the semi-final. And it leads us to think that a lot of people are saying that who are the next sports stars that are coming through? Who is going to take up the mantle? And if you look right across the board, right, because you have football where you know that a lot of people are saying that it's Mbappe and Erling Haaland that will take over the mantle from Christie and Messi. While in tennis, a lot of people are saying that Naomi Osaka is the one that will take over from Serena and the others. Because the thing is that you have a few decent players in tennis here and there. For instance, you have Svitolina, who is, to me, one of the biggest choker ever. Last man, that lady went into the Australian Open ranked number 7 in the world and got beaten by someone who is ranked, I believe, about 30th. She constantly do this right throughout the tennis tournaments, and begs us to think that is it a mental thing for these players when they reach into big tournaments that they can't get over the hurdle, that oomph to actually take them to the next level? And then you have people like Simona Alep, who is people actually thought that she would have been the one to step up to the mantle, but guess what? She has this stop starting about her. This minute she good, next minute she is absolutely awful. Then you have people like Ashley Barty and those people that are slowly coming through. Yes, she won a Grand Slam, but she was out of action for over a year because since pandemic she didn't really play any tennis. So the Australian Open was really the tournament that she really did anything. So Osaka came through and she was very good throughout the tournament, as I just said. And Jason, what's your observation about this player herself? And I want to get your views on Serena as well.
Well, good night to everyone watching. Good night, listen everybody. For me, Osaka is just pure, bubbly domination. She's such a comic. Even in her interview, after she won, and she had that comic bit where she said, "Okay, should I call you Jenny or Jennifer?" or something like that. And the girl said,
Jennifer.
"Jenny." Yeah, and she responded, Jennifer, I like Jennifer. So, I mean, she has that charisma about her, but I mean, at her current age, I can see that she's here to stay. And I don't really see any other person outright right now who can really come up and say, yeah, can actually challenge her in the near future. Of course, you never know what can happen in sport. A lot of people can come up in such short order. Maybe a year from now, the landscape can be different. But as I said before, I mean, we have seen a lot of examples this year specifically where we see a lot of passing of the torch in some aspect. You saw it in NFL with Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, two guys who are opposite ends of their careers. You saw it in the Champions League with Mbappe and Lionel Messi, and now you're seeing it in tennis. So overall, I mean, I love her. I love her very much. She is a star. As it relates to Serena now, Serena, um, she she already has her name in tennis. So I mean, she doesn't really have anything else to prove. More, I think she should be a very good mentor for Osaka in that aspect. But I see a lot of Serena fans, trying to come up with a lot of excuses for her as to why she lost at everything. Osaka is just a better tennis player right now, and that's just basically how it is.
All right, Ryan.
Here, here.
Right, you are one of the persons that actually took offense to me saying that she choked once again, in which I was just taking a shot at her in terms of it was just a post that wasn't supposed to be taken literally. However,
Yeah.
you guys are saying that, you know what, she's 39 and we should actually be happy that she's making it to a semi and this and that. However, she's 39, but she's playing tennis way better than most of the current players still. So you basically giving an excuse because it was an excuse for her losing in terms of you're saying that, okay, she's 39 and yes, we should be happy that she's still making semifinals. But the thing that I really want to look at is that why is it that at every point that she's supposed to overtake the person that is in front of her of getting the record, there seems to be a mental blockage in terms of she can't get over the hurdle to actually gain that record.
You mean over the past 2 to 3 years since
Yeah.
she has gone on 23?
Yeah.
I don't know, to be honest, what is the issue, because she has been going to semis religiously over the past 2 to 3 years, but somehow she just cannot get over the last hurdle. And the younger players, there are not a lot of younger players who are playing a lot better than her, but there are younger players who are playing better than her.
For instance, as we mentioned earlier on, Osaka, she has been brilliant over the past couple of years, and we probably didn't get the first part of the show, but I pointed out to a few players that has came on the scene, but they lack consistency. And one such player that bothers me a lot is Simona Halep. She was as the one that would have eventually took over the mantle, but guess what? This minute she's up like this, next minute she's down like this.
True.
So the only real player that you could actually say right now that is on the top of her game is Osaka. And for those who didn't know, she went to the final against Jennifer Brady and she won. She won in 77 minutes. She won the game 6-4, 6-3. So would you say that Osaka is actually the face of tennis now?
Yeah.
Okay, boss. Fine, black. Over on the men's side now, the man that a lot of these people keep on calling the GOAT, in which the man not reach him GOAT status there yet, man. Just easy on yourself. But they keep on mentioning that one, Novak Djokovic is actually the GOAT of tennis based on his accumulation of titles and the different type of surfaces in terms of his all-round play and all that. But I, for one, disagree because I'm a big Roger Federer fan, so you know that go already. But
and I'm a big Nadal fan.
but
let's put it this way though. There's a table for 3 where the elites are concerned: Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic. But of those 3, Djokovic is the weakest link.
Why would you say that though? Give a reason for your answer.
No, I mean, he is an elite tennis player from the 3 that I've named, but the other 2 are better than him.
Alright. You know that I'm going to disagree with you on that. And don't call me a Nadal hater and that, but the thing is that I personally think that Nadal plays boring. The man reminds me so much of Jose Mourinho in football. If for analogy, it's like Jose Mourinho. The man plays tennis very boring. Djokovic is similar in a sense to me, but he can have a balance between attack and defense. While Djokovic, well, I mean, Nadal just seems to be very defensive in my opinion. No.
That's your opinion.
Yeah, that's what I just mentioned. That's why I said it, you know. But if you look at it, right, you're saying he's the weakest link. How?
Of the 3.
Well, I know. Yeah, I know. But you're saying that he is the weakest link. Since he's the weakest link, right? I'm just going off your theory now. Why is it that in the era of Nadal and Federer, he has been able to gain so much success, so much Grand Slams with those 2 at the top of their games at times, and he beat both of them?
It's the era of Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic. Djokovic is a part of the 3. Don't leave him out. He's an elite player, and elite players will win Grand Slams. I'm just saying that of the three, I think the other two are better. I'm not saying that they are a lot better, but they are better. It's just like, for example, the three are going to our exam and we get A, you might get 98, Jason might get 95, and we get 92. All of we get A, but we just get the lower grade. That's how I see it where Djokovic is concerned.
All right, boss man. But again, I want to say congratulations to Novak Djokovic for winning his 18th Grand Slam title. Basically, two behind Nadal and Federer. And if memory serves me correct, I believe he's younger than both of them, so he has a lot of way to go in terms of gaining more success. And one thing I want to ask both of you, through the entire tournament, I saw reports saying that he was carrying a injury. However, people are saying that it was actually a mind game thingy because he wasn't injured any at all. Jason, you first. What do you think about that?
For me, it was mind game. Classic mind game. We all know. Right now, Djokovic is at the top of his game. He rules the roost in a sense. Coming into the Australian Open with his record. But he was just kind of started to throw his opponents through the rest of the competition of their game. Because really and truly, if there is a sense that it can work for you and it can work against you. Majority of the time, if you consider yourself the best person entering a competition, and then there is any slight indication that your competitors can actually gain some level of advantage over you because you're supposedly, down because of some injury or illness or whatever, at some point it might play on the mind of the competitors to actually say, all right, probably we don't have to give 100% per se because the elite person is not at 100% either. So because Djokovic might not be at 100%, you will let down your guard as well. So as I said, it can work for or against you. More often than not, it does work for. But I believe it was mind games. I don't think he was really injured. And if he was really injured, then that doesn't spell well for the rest of the tournament. That is actually the case.
All right, so here's Stefano McIntyre saying that Joker and Nadal aren't beautiful players. They are very good fundamentally, especially on defense.
I agree.
Right. With the current crop that is coming through on the men's side, are you satisfied in terms of the talent that you see on display, and are you concerned as to who will eventually take over from these three monsters?
You saw Djokovic's comment. I think he was alluding to the fact that they are saying that they are getting old. The top three are getting old. However, he was saying that they have a lot more time left, and the younger ones will have it as easy. I don't know if you saw that comment.
Yeah, I glimpsed it, but I'm saying that there will come a point that they will have to eventually pass on the torch. Are you satisfied with the talent that you have seen on display, or you're concerned about it?
I think from the men's side of it, they are weaker than over the women's side, where the younger talents are concerned.
Because again, the thing that a lot of them lack is consistency. Because you look at a Zverev, a Shapovalov, Tsitsipas, and those players, right? At the end of the day, look at Tsitsipas, for instance. He was the one who knocked out Nadal after Nadal was leading by what, 2-0?
Winning the third.
Exactly, and he rode back and eventually beat Nadal. Here he came up against Medvedev. Not saying that Medvedev isn't a good player now, because he's quite decent, yeah. But how do you explain beating one of the best players in the world? Because currently Nadal was playing some good tennis. You beat Nadal, and yet you came into a big semi-final and ended up losing by 3 sets. Not even 1 set you won in the final. So it leads me to think that, are these players mentally tough, or is the case that the situation or the position that they're in kind of get to them in terms of the stage that they're on? Do you agree with my notion?
You use the perfect word, consistency. And it is also a mentality. Mentality is what causes consistency or lack thereof. And the younger guns are just not consistent enough, or they don't have the mental capacity to bring them to the next level as yet. So it's a mixture of everything that you mentioned earlier.
So yes, Chris is saying that Medvedev was on a 20-match winning streak. However, Chris, to answer to your question directly, he was on a 20-match winning streak, right? But who did he win against?
Who did he beat? Yeah.
Who did he beat? That's the point. And I'm saying that Tsitsipas beat Nadal, who was playing some of the best tennis.
Mm-hmm.
And to go and just, all right, let's say we give you that he's on a 20-match unbeaten streak, yes. But how do you explain going into a big semi-final that you just beat one of the best players in the world, right? And you're going to the semi-final and you lose by 3-0. How do you explain that? That's the question that I keep on asking. But at the end of the day, I personally like some of these youngsters, but the consistency, man, and this player especially disappoint me a lot. His name is Nick Kyrgios. I think this man has the talent to be a top player, but the man using more too much and he lack the mental fortitude to actually go on. And that is his big downfall. He focused too much on other things instead of tennis itself. All in all, it was a good Australian Open, and I was happy to see some tennis, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
we have WTA going on, but you know that we lack
Grand Slam is the real thing.
simple as that. And again, congratulations to Naomi Osaka and Novak Djokovic for winning the men and the women section respectively. We now move on, and I've seen some discussion going around that I really don't really want to take part in, but people really want me to. But the thing is that, all right, let's leave that for another time. Let's focus on the cricket, because I was going to touch on it, but let's just focus on the regional cricket. Now we saw the Jamaican Scorpions taking on the Trinidad Red Force, right, in the semi-final, in which the Jamaica Scorpions said they luckily got into the semi-final because they have played absolute trash throughout this entire tournament. They have been awful in all three aspects of the game, and it was once again on show today because if memory serves me correct, I remember that they were at 113 for one after around 25 overs. And how do you explain being at that stage and then ended up just making 256 runs in a semi-final once again? First up, Ryan, did you take it in?
No, I was at work, so I was following the scores periodically, but not consistent enough.
All right.
But I can comment from the earlier stages of the tournament to an extent.
My bad.
Yeah, man, go ahead, Budget, man. All right, so guys, we have the man that they refer to as a hint at basketball fanatic and also a man who knows basketball a lot, Chris Lynch in the building also. Ryan, we'll get back to the cricket after a while. We'll just touch on the basketball immediately.
Wait, Levan. He's a cricket man, you know. So continue the cricket and then we'll get into basketball.
All right, so Chris Lynch. We'll continue with it. See? So
yeah, continue.
I'll ask you a question, but you've seen the Jamaican Scorpions right through the tournament itself. What do you make of them? Because as I just alluded to, they have been very poor in all three facets of the game.
I expected them to be poor. Jamaican cricket has been poor for a few years now. We have been. It's just the truth. And even though we have been without some of our big hitters, so to speak, for the earlier matches, it's just a reality where Jamaica cricket is right now. We have been poor in the short format and the long format of the game. And the reason why we made the semis is because 4 teams have to make it.
No, Chris Lynch, what's your take on it?
I think we didn't put a lot of players didn't come to the forefront in all of the games. Like if you look, it's just like 2 or 3 players coming good in the games, and that is not good enough if you're going to beat like Trinidad and the big teams. It's only good enough to beat like what Ryan said, the small teams, the bad teams. But if you're going if they had put a string of like guys have put a string of performances together, like probably 5 or 6 guys put some performances together, then it would have made a big difference. A game like today, as I can see, so you have probably the bowler, Merchant, and then probably King and Campbell. We needed at least Ravman Powell to anchor from there on when we were looking good, and he didn't do that, and no one else took up the mantle. So it was hard on a game like today, and we didn't do it in any other games. We do it against like bad teams. Like if McCarthy didn't get those 6 wickets, then Jamaica would be here today.
And here's Sheldon Campbell in the comment section saying that Jamaica should have done better with the batting overall this tournament, and it showed up today. The start they got should have got them 320 plus. I agree with that because, as I said, you can't be 113 for one after 25 hours and just end up making 256. That's unacceptable. And Ravman Powell, as I keep on saying before, that man just, honestly, must just go sit down. Point blank. Because he's poor as a captain and he's poor as a batsman, and again, he's poor as a bowler. He has nothing much to offer the team. And when the team needed inspiration, where was he? And I was watching the game, the latter stages, and he brought on Java Royal to bowl against Pollard. First up, the man served the man a juicy short ball. What I think happened? The man dispatched it easily. If I was a thinking captain at that point in time, why would I go for Fabian Allen, a next left-hander, to bowl to that same man? Basically, I'm through the game. And again, as I said, he's a poor captain, and Ryan just said it. Just expected. Jamaica cricket overall, poor.
But Lavan, not our best captain, but who else will you give the team to captain? We don't have much experience. It's a hard task to just put someone there as captain.
It comes back down to
Try McCarthy. You never know.
But there's a question in the comment section from Akil, and he's asking that if it doesn't bother us here that the seamers in the Caribbean have been so poor. Anyone can take it up. Ryan, you first.
Yeah, that's been a bother for years. I mean, we have the seamers we have been producing have been substandard. We're not pushing out any quality seamers, so to speak. So over the last few years, that has been a bother. I mean, our top seamers right now in the test team and the one-day teams are in their 30s. Roach and the Trinidad guy,
Gabriel,
yeah, Shannon. Those guys are in their 30s. We're not producing any top quality seamers over the last 3 years.
All right. If you look at it right now, right, there is this youngster that actually, like, he's also from Trinidad, but he has not been given the opportunity. He played in the under-19, the last under-19 World Cup. His name is Jaden Seals. Actually, I think he's a decent talent that could actually develop because he wants to play the long format. However, you're not giving the man the opportunity. What do you expect?
I saw ESPN had him on a list of it's either top 20 or top 30 talents to watch in the future for the next 10 years, and his name was the only West Indian on it.
That's my point. And players that you would have expected to step to the forefront from a while back was like Azar Joseph, but his bowling hasn't hit to the levels that you were projecting. And that leads you again to think that, you know what, the bowling has just been so poor overall. And then the pitch itself in the Caribbean doesn't really offer them much help.
The pitches are the pitches are the main problem. If you look at the games, you realize that the pace bowlers, they are only pouring some slower balls, and those are the balls getting the wicket. So the pitches tell you that the slower bowlers going to dominate these pitch. The bowlers tell you that the slower balls dominating the region. So it's the pitches that we have to blame. And I think if you listen a lot of commentary around the region, and when you look at the games just starting, they always comment on the pitches. The pitches are not good. Ravi Rampal get 4 wickets today, and he didn't bowl at maximum pace. All he did was try to bowl slower balls. Pollard throughout the tournament hasn't scored a lot of runs off him. All he did was try to just roll his finger around the ball and bowl slower. The spin bowler Trinidad today bowled very fast, and he went very expensive.
All right, look
That's
at
where
this.
growing up, because growing up watching cricket, our pitches were normally quick and offered a lot to the faster bowlers. I don't know what happened over the years why if the groundsmen are preparing them differently, because we haven't been producing the quality seamers, and they are not producing the pitches to help the seamers. I would say that they are not producing them because our pitches have been known for bounce and pace. So I don't know what has happened over the last few years, except to say that the groundsmen may be not preparing the pitches to help the bowlers, the fast bowlers.
I can further substantiate Chris Lynch's point, because the previous game with Barbados and Jamaica, Joshua Bishop, man just spin the ball none at all, and that man got 5 wickets. And in the second innings, you actually thought that Barbados was on their way to winning the match, and here comes Andre McCarthy. This man don't know anything about bowling much. And man just turn him arm, and guess what? The man ended up with 6 wickets. But here's one of our commenters, Arsenal, saying that can't blame the pitches. India has rebuffed this argument. Look at how they have produced quality quick bowlers in the last decade. Any rebuttal?
Yeah. You cannot use.
Yeah. Here's our rebuttal. India has surgically targeted producing fast bowlers.
There you go.
They have strategically went about that because they realized that they don't have any fast bowlers over the last few years. And they put a task in place to say, okay, we are going to produce some fast bowlers in the next batch coming up. And they have done that. So I wouldn't say that they have rebutted the argument, so to speak.
And our bowlers, and you have to give some of the blame to the bowlers if that's what the person who trying to say. Because if you look, our bowlers are just trying to bowl fast. We're not trying to bowl on a good line and length. If you look at them at the international level, bowl too much sharp balls and too much wide deliveries and too much off volleys, and quality batsman is going to get them away easily. So, and it shows that the more you bowl fast, you cannot just be bowling fast and think that's good. Ocean Thomas is a good example. Alzar Joseph is a good example. You're going to travel if you keep bowling just fast. You have to bowl on a good line and length, and don't bowl a lot of wide balls.
But as I said in Chris Lynch, the thing is that they lack, I keep mentioning this word, consistency and concentration. They lack it. They can't actually bowl on a particular length for a sustained period of time. It's like if they bowl 3 balls right on or about the half stump, in which most commentators would say the third stump. That's what they always say. Bowl it on the third stump. If they consistently do that and nothing works for them, guess what? Let's expect a try ball afterwards. But that being said, though, you think Trinidad will actually just go on and win this title?
Before the tournament began, Trinidad winning maybe unbeaten. Trinidad's side right now could be West Indies side, if not better than West Indies side.
Agreed upon.
Yeah.
Chris Lynch, what do you think?
Yeah, Trinidad should win, but cricket is play on the day. Anything can happen, but Trinidad is the massive favorite going forward.
Jason, you have been good.
From the start of the tournament, they've been the massive favorite.
Jason, you have been quite long. I want to get your input now. Where's the Trinidad to win?
My father is a bigger cricket fan than I am, and even up to this morning, he was mentioning Trinidad. He can't bother with Jamaica, so I think that it is.
Go again?
I'll say my father is a bigger cricket fan than I am, so even up to this morning, he was saying Trinidad. He can't bother with Jamaica right now, so you know that it is.
All right, boss. Now we move over to some basketball, and I'm sure this is a part of the show that will actually get Chris Lynch even more excited, because this is right up his alley. And you have seen what? A lot of action since the season has begun The 76ers ran out and they were playing very well until they started to lose some matches. They're currently 21-11 over in the Eastern Conference with the Nets second with a 21-12 record. The question I want to ask you, first up, what do you make of the 76ers or the Eastern Conference itself? What do you make of it this season?
With the move with James Harden basically coming over, it make it it was competitive until James Harden comes. James Harden basically is like what happened with Golden State when Kevin Durant went there. That's what James Harden just did with the Nets. What he did is make it not competitive in a way that they are easily the favorites to come out. Because come playoffs, it's going to be a different story where you're locking on players and you need a basket. You have 3 players who can give you a basket on every play. They choose whenever they want a basket. You cannot stop them. So there's nobody in the NBA who can stop Kevin Durant, James Harden, or Kyrie Irving from getting a basket. So it's going to be easy for them coming out of the East. I don't see no team pushing them past 6 games. The 76ers might push them to 6 games, but no other team will probably push them to 6 in the when the playoff comes.
All right, Ryan, have you been taking in the action itself?
I don't watch basketball as I might watch the other sports, so not so much. I might get up and look at the score or watch it for 5 minutes, but not as religiously.
But
So
I know
not really my sport, so to speak.
I know one man
when playoffs come, then maybe I can comment.
I know one man that has been taking a lot of the action because he has been certainly impressed by one, Stephen Curry, who has been throwing up MVP sort of numbers this season. Jason, what do you make of Steph Curry this season so far and his team? All right, so Jason has gone. So, Chris Lynch, I want to ask you the question. Curry overall, he has been carrying JSW on his back through the season, in which he had to because, well, not as if he had any choice. But the thing that I really want to get at is that it seems like if he doesn't actually throw up like a 30 points per night, the team can't win.
No, they have no other real superstar. He misses his brother in Klay Thompson, who would have probably give him some leeway some nights, but he doesn't have an ex-scorer who can take the pressure off him some nights. And in the NBA has proven that you need at least 2 superstars to carry a long way in a season. And Steph Curry knows he has to score 30 points in order for himself to have a chance to win and make it to the playoffs, because the West is no joke. The West is a serious place, and he's playing like he wants to go to the playoffs, but I don't expect him to pass the first round. I can't see it unless Klay Thompson come back. He doesn't have a second natural scorer. The Warriors doesn't have that. The Warriors doesn't have a natural scorer who is going to show up in the playoff. They don't show up in the regular season, so I don't expect them to show up in the playoff.
The question that I asked earlier and I wanted to answer it. Would you say he has been the MVP thus far? Christine, share your question, man.
Yeah, that's me. Normally they don't look at it like that. Like most people who follow the basketball, he could be in the conversation. He could be in the conversation if his team.
All right, hold on a second. I'm stopping it. He's a man who follow cricket. You know about a lot of short ball coming at your throat. He's a man that follow basketball. And you know that Steph shoot the ball from a midcourt sometime. Brother, just shoot the ball, man. And stop growing the thing. Answer the question directly.
He's in the running.
Remember, you know, this is your opinion.
Yeah, he's in the running, but I would vote probably James Harden. James Harden for me is the MVP so far. For me personally.
Jason, your take.
Well, if it's really specifically an MVP race, I mean, Curry's numbers have been identical to his unanimous win back in what, 2015, 16, thereabouts. But I think what probably will work against him is Golden State's record overall. which I think people tend to, look at more when it comes to basketball. I really like Joel Embiid. The other night he had what 50 plus points the other night and all of that. So I really like his chances. It's some battle between him and Nikola Jokic, certainly for best center. But overall, I mean, Curry is up there. I agree with Chris that Harden is also up there. But if I had to pick one person right now, I would go with Embiid right now.
All right, back over to you now, Chris. The Lakers, right? A lot of people have them as the favorite for this season, based on who they went out and got. But the thing is that Schroeder's gone down injured, and also Anthony Davis has gone down injured. And since then, the Lakers hasn't looked themselves in, which is expected because those two players are very vital to their chances. However, they still have one LeBron James, who a lot of people have as the greatest basketballer to ever grace the face of this earth. And I've seen where in a couple of games since then, they have lost from position that they have actually been leading in the third quarter. At one point, if memory serves me right, I think it was last night or the night before, they were leading by 10 points in the third quarter. And
Leading by 17. Leading by 17 against Washington.
There you go. Leading by 17 and ended up losing the match.
Yeah.
How do you explain this, bros?
It goes back to what Steph Curry facing. Same thing LeBron James facing. Doesn't have a natural scorer once Anthony Davis and Dennis Schroeder, who he depend on to get him buckets night in, night out. When he cannot take a half, he can't take a half night once those two players not available. So I guess he's going to try and make it to the playoffs and hope those two players come back healthy, and then playoff Lakers will be turning up again.
But currently, doesn't it bother you? And let me ask you this question: which team you actually support?
I support the Lakers.
Do you actually support Lakers, or you're a LeBron fan?
We support LeBron. Anywhere LeBron is going, we're there.
What are the boss? I know that a lot of people say that they support Lakers right now are just fans of LeBron himself.
LeBron. So
you're one of those ones.
But I want Lakers to win. Whether LeBron is playing, yes or no, I want Lakers to win.
You're a brand supporter, man. Just not the truth.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I agree to that.
And Chris Lynch, also, our producer said I should rub the salt into your wound. Josh said, you're a big LeBron Bartwat drinker.
I would go so far. That's all like some finance and stuff.
But with that being said, though, you actually think they can go on to win it? Because you talked up a storm about the Brooklyn Nets, so I really want to know if you actually think the Lakers can go on to win the game. I mean.
Yeah, that's what I just tell you. If Anthony Davis is going to come back fit and Dennis Schroeder is going to come back fit, then it's going to be a battle between those two. Brooklyn and Lakers.
I wanted to call it. Be a brave man.
And if I'm going to pick the Lakers in 7.
Kinda expected. LeBron fan, Lakers fans never expect anything different.
But I have picked against LeBron James a lot of times. I've picked against LeBron James.
Alright, boss man. In the league itself this season, right? You've seen all the rookies. Which one has impressed you the most so far?
I like the rookie. I like the rookie quickly at Knicks. I like Ball. I think he's the rookie of the year so far. LaMelo. So he's the most impressive to me so far. LaMelo.
And here's another Laker fan in the comment section saying that Dennis Schroeder is coming back Friday.
Yeah, I think he's not injured. I think it's the COVID protocol stuff.
All right, boss man. We're now going to talk some football. Part of the segment that a lot of fans are looking forward to. So, over the past week, which that was yesterday and earlier today, we saw some UCL action. First up, yesterday we saw Atletico Madrid taking on Chelsea. Chelsea getting a 1-0 victory with an overhead kick from one Olivier Giroud. Somewhat controversial because there are a lot of people saying that it was actually offside while others are arguing that it wasn't. I'm going to give it to the Chelsea man, Ryan Lawson. The floor is all yours.
Well, let me start with the goal. Based on the rules of football, it's a legitimate goal. It was played back by the defender, and the forward took advantage of the defender's mistake. So it was a legitimate goal based on the rules of the game. You want me to comment on the game itself?
Yeah, man.
Well, the game was, how do I put this now? Atletico played how we expected them to play, if not worse, because they are the leaders of the La Liga. They could have done more being the home team in terms of coming at Chelsea, attacking wise. They could have go at Chelsea's defense because there are a lot of different defensive frailties.
Ryan, how would they would have went at Chelsea with Simeone setting up his side to play a 6-3-1 formation?
Well, he never set it up that way. He could have set it up different to create more chances at Chelsea's backline. He chose not to. He has players who can take on Chelsea's backline. You have Suarez, you have Felix. You have wing backs who can. You have Lodi. I don't know why I never start. So he has options in the team. He has attacking options that can do more than he asks them to do. Tuchel, I understand what Tuchel was doing with his setup. I may not agree with everything in terms of the team selection yesterday, but I actually wanted to see if he would have been more attacking in terms of the team selection, but he wasn't, and I understood why he chose not to.
All right, Chris Lynch, this one is for you now. The game was not played at the Wanda Metropolitan, as you know. So it wasn't played at Atletico home. It was at a neutral venue for both teams. Do you think that Diego Simeone could have approached the game way better than he did? Because, Bossman, you're playing against a team that, yeah, we understand that it's a neutral venue, yes. However, this is the venue selected as your home. Do you think he could have approached the game differently in terms of setting up more attacking-wise? Even though, let me point this out, that Atletico has been playing very bad over the past probably 3 weeks. They had, at one point, they had a 10-point lead in La Liga with, I think, a game in hand. Now that lead is down to 3 points with a game in hand. So they have dropped points quite a lot. I saw them last to Levante weekend. So it leads me to think that it's the case that they are run out of steam, or it's probably just going through the motions currently.
To answer the first question, that's how Diego Simeone, that's how he beat Liverpool, he will tell you last season. So that's how he approaches home games. When I watch him, that's how he approaches home games. He's trying not to concede at home, to try and bring the leg just like Mourinho and take it to your home where if he scores, the advantage is with him. But Chelsea had managed to take one, so now he's under pressure. So you will see the type of game that you wanted to see from the first leg when they go at Chelsea, when they play the home game at Chelsea. But that's how he normally plays his home games. Try and stay on the back foot. If he squeak one, but he's trying to not let you score and get that advantage, that away goal.
But guess what? It wasn't to be because Chelsea actually got the away goal. Jason, your take on the game?
Atletico certainly played like somebody who is in a team that is in bad form. I mean, one win in the last 5, they have conceded a goal in each of their last 7 games. So, but I mean, all things considered, I was still a bit disappointed with their output on the day. I mean, when the draw was initially made, I wrote Chelsea off at the time because of the fortunes of these two teams. I mean, Atletico overall have had the better season so far, But I mean, on this day, it certainly didn't play out that way. And Chelsea were a good value for the goal that they took. Who I think one of the most underrated players I've ever seen play football in Olivier Giroud. I think he's a huge asset to this Chelsea team. Offers something very much different in comparison to the other strikers that they have. But I mean, the omens are good for English sides. Never lost a knockout tie when they've won the first leg away.
All right, and that being said, when we made the predictions for the game, one of our analysts said that he expected a tricky fixture over by Lazio, while one of our other analysts at the point said that he expected Bayern to run to victory. Now, in that match, Bayern scored 4 past Lazio. A Lazio team that was lackadaisical and lackluster, and the champions just rolled them over. We're going to start with you this time, Chris. Bayern, do you think they are favorites to take home the title again? And let me point out that one of the scorer, Musiala, has committed his future to Germany. So England, take a back seat.
Talk to Josh about that.
I mean, England fan.
Yo, but no, Ryan, so you take a back seat to one come try prize with a little gem
I
away.
don't talk about that.
All right, Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, the Bayern game is I don't think how you could get that as they are not the favorites to win it. It's always Pep Guardiola with his big teams are the favorite. When he has teams like that playing so well, he's always the favorite to win. So Man City is a favorite over Bayern. Not saying, but Bayern is a good team who plays good football. But Man City is the favorite to win the Champions League. Just like they can be the favorite to win the Premier League every year, but they don't must win every year. But they are the favorite to win the Champions League. And the Bayern team play good football. And I thought it would have went just like how it went yesterday, a one-sided affair. And Bayern always find way to score early goals, and that makes them get control of the game early, and just let things look easy.
Well, can I point out one thing to you though? You said that Pep team is a favorite, but do you have any clue that Bayern hasn't lost in the Champions League for over 2 years now?
Yeah, Bayern, like I just said, but and when you go to bet on Bayern versus Man City is going to be the favorite if they are ever going to match up. That's how it is.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but
the best team on paper always going to win, always going to be the favorite.
You know the thing with you is that, and I've realized it from your come on the show, you like to try to play safe. Brother, just go ahead and just call the thing straightforward, man. Stop beat around.
Yeah, but I don't know what you want me to say. I said Man City is a favorite. I'm thinking Man City is going to win the Champions League.
All right, boss. That's all I wanted to hear. No, Ryan, you saw the game, right? And your observation. But first, you wanted to comment on the Musiala thing. So go ahead and comment on that first.
Oh, yeah. Well, Musiala was playing England under 21 up till his declaration or alleged declaration. So England was promising him under 21 action, whereas Germany is promising him Euro 2020/21 action. So Musiala looked to the right and he saw his competitors, Kane, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Foden, Grealish, Saka, a bunch of other players, Rashford, and then he looked to the right. He looked the other direction and he saw Werner, Gnabry, and Sane, and he realized, okay, Germany is the easier team to make. So it's it's an easy choice for him.
No, you can't say the man. The man said it was a hard decision, but the man is looking at it.
He's going to say that. He's going to say that. And plus, look, Yogi Low has been promising him Euro action, so it's an easier decision to make where career is concerned internationally.
Looking at it from a standpoint that, you know what, there's a more likely possibility of me playing more. Yes, I agree on that. However, there's also a more likely possibility that I'm going to win with Germany than if I go to England. So don't come with that.
Yeah, I mean, likely in the sense of historically, but if you're looking at the teams now, I don't see that.
I see it because you have a knockhead of a coach.
Well, that depends on who you ask.
Boss man, stop being a gruff man. Stop growing the thing, man. But the match itself, your take on it?
Well, I expected an easy Bayern victory, and an easy Bayern victory it was. I did not see Lazio upsetting the apple cart in this one. I actually had Bayern winning like maybe 3-0 or three love I had as my prediction. So they won by three clear goals anyway. So
Demo, you're late in the building, but quickly, your take on the Bayern match because you're one of them that said that you expected Bayern to take this fixture. Your take.
Good night, everyone. Yeah, Bayern Munich just looks unstoppable. I expect Lazio to put up a better fight. I mean, they had a lot of chances and they play flowing football, but Bayern Munich just seems unstoppable. And I mean, barring Liverpool, I don't know who is going to stop them. Just putting it out there. I mean, we have beaten them at home 3-1. Don't forget that we went to Bayern and we demolished them 3-1. So just putting it out. They look unstoppable.
Right, and I think the reason why I feel so optimistic is because they say one Jota back in training and Van Dijk back in training. But that's our next day.
No.
Earlier on today we saw Atalanta taking on Real Madrid, and Rula had a shocker. He got a red card from the 70th minute, and Atalanta played the rest of the match with 10 men. Now they ended up losing the match 1-0 through a Ferland Mendy peach, as a lot of people have been describing it as. I want to start off with Jason on that. Your take on the game overall.
That red card just threw everything off the Atalanta. Pretty much mash up the game plan, and after that, it was just sole Real Madrid. Real Madrid, they have scored. They have now scored, 21 straight Champions League games now. Or is it 21 straight knockouts for the Champions League? So Real Madrid were good value on the day. They looked a bit comfortable and everything, but I mean, I didn't expect really Atlanta to get anything out of this game. They blow so hot and cold this season, but they've been mostly cold. I know they recently trumped Napoli, but when they come.
Alright, so Jason has gone. So, Christian, your take on the game itself?
I had predicted that this game would have ended in a draw because Real Madrid not playing at their best, and I think Atlanta at home are always a good team and they always find ways to score goals. Unfortunately, they get an early red card and that would have set them back. And I think they did well to go away with a 1-0 after a peach of a goal like you describe it. They don't feel bad, and I think Real Madrid in real trouble at home now. Real Madrid is going to be in trouble because Atlanta like to play attacking football, and they will have all license to go forward now because they are 1 goal down. So hopefully Real Madrid can capitalize if they get the chances, because Atlanta is a dangerous team in Champions League and in knockout games like these.
Ryan?
Well, I predicted Atalanta to have won this leg. However, that red card put a damper on their game plan, so they had to go conservative. And they will now have a very good chance, given that they're only 1 goal behind. And Real Madrid has like 8 injuries now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many of them will be back for the second leg. So
right.
it's open as it stands right now for me.
All right, Dima, your take?
Yeah, quickly, just same for me. I think it's a very open. That 1 goal, I don't think it's going to be enough. For some reason, Real Madrid just not playing their best football at this point in time, and Atalanta, they're a team that's just known for scoring goals. And I mean, I think it's very open for the next leg. I'm not going to say who is going to win, but I think it's a very open game for the next leg. That 1 goal won't be enough, though. I see more goals.
And next up, we saw the bookmaker's favorite, the bookmaker's favorite, Manchester City, going into Germany and taking a 2-0 victory over Mönchengladbach. On our previous live that I had some prediction, some said they expected a tricky fixture, but City just owes class right now, and they went over and they even made changes to the starting 11 by dropping De Bruyne and dropping John Stones, and guess what? Seems like nobody at all was missing whatsoever, man. The bookmaker's favorite 2, Mönchengladbach 0. I'm going to start off with Ryan on this one.
Well, you can basically say the tie is done right now because they went to Mönchengladbach and they are taking home 2 goals. So as far as I'm concerned, that tie is as good as done. Because for the second leg, I expect Man City to put Mönchengladbach to the sword. I don't see they're going any further, Mönchengladbach that is. So it's done for me.
Over to Chris Lynch, because Chris Lynch has have them as favorite as well. So he's agreeing with the bookmakers that City is a big favorite to take home this season's Champions League. Your take on the game itself, boss?
But firstly, you agree. You just said they dropped 2 of their good players. They're 2 of their they're better players, and they still look like they didn't miss nothing. So you agree?
Hold on, I agree with you.
You agree with the bookmaker because you said they didn't miss nothing after dropping 2 of their best.
Our bookmaker's favorite, that man.
But yes, good game like Ryan said. Leg should be over unless Pep Guardiola fail again in a Champions League to advance. But the leg should be over going home to City. It's going to be hard. I had Mönchengladbach getting a goal at home and they didn't do that to keep the leg interested. But if they fail to score at home, it's hard now to go to Man City playing so good. Brilliant team playing so good and to get a result. I can't see them getting anything to advance.
To shift in the comment section, the match against with Atalanta and Madrid was actually played at Atalanta today, so it will be at Madrid home the next leg, unless things changes.
That's why 1 goal not safe.
But Dimo, your take on the game itself?
Listen, man. When you can have a team like Manchester City resting Kevin De Bruyne, bringing on Ferran Torres and Kun Aguero in the 88th minute of a game, you just know that the team have a whole heap of quality. And mind you, Gladbach, they didn't start Thuram. I'm not sure if he had an injury or whatever, but he didn't start, but he came on. So I'm expecting that he might start the next leg. And to the way how City bossed the game without De Bruyne and Aguero and all of these people, it just shows that they have a lot of class. But the last minute of that game, they could have got a goal, and Edison came up big in the last minute of the tie, and he made a big save at the end there. And boy, it just looks like City, nobody, them and Bayern Munich, they have to be up there as favorites for this tournament. They seem to be purring at the right moment. I can't tell the last time they conceded a goal. Probably the penalty at Liverpool, I don't know. But they just seem imperious at the moment.
But Dimo, why can't just follow the rest of us and just call them on them bookmakers' favorite?
No. You see, when it comes to Champions League and Pep Guardiola with Manchester City, I'm not putting them as no favorites.
No, man, the man, them a bookmakers' favorite right now, man. Jason, your take on it quickly.
From Guardiola took over Man City have been bookmakers' favorites every single
Like,
that is just how it is. But City were in complete control and their quality showed. To answer Dimo's question specifically, that they haven't conceded a goal in 660 minutes in Champions League football.
wow.
So that just shows how imperious their defense has been. But I mean, if I'm going to go outright, if I had to pick between the 2 of them, I would pick Bayern Munich. Simply put, Lewandowski is the difference between the 2 teams.
Okay, and guys, it was a pleasure having all of you here. But before I go, Dimo, we got touched on the cricket, but you never got a chance to say your piece on it. So quickly, your take on the cricket.
Oh, Chris Lynch touched on the cricket.
Yeah, man, the Guru was in building, man.
listen, boss. Jamaica, we have some serious head problems up here, so we had such a great start. I mean, it wasn't a flying start because it was a bit slow, but John Campbell came back in flying form, and it seems like at the end there, in the middle part, probably about 30 overs to the end, John Campbell start bat for make him 100, and it never seemed like a team thing, and everybody was just, I don't know what was happening. Like, we just have a mental problem in a Jamaica. And mind you, I don't think Jamaica warranted the place because that was a miracle why we even make it to the semi-final in the first place. And
we spoke about it.
Yeah, and Trinidad.
Yeah, as I said, we only made semis because four teams have to make it.
Yeah, it was an absolute miracle. And Trinidad has been just such a consistent team throughout the whole tournament. It just showed the class of the team because Sernine Ryan didn't play today, and it seemed like nobody missing. Nobody can stop this team. But Jamaica had the chance. If they capitalize on that start, I felt that we had a chance to win the game. But the way if you drop a catch in the second ball of the over, you and Kuma Bana, the second ball of your innings, you drop a catch, and then a next catch drop at slip. And the feeling was atrocious throughout the whole game from both Trinidad and Jamaica. And that was my takeaway. I cannot believe that these teams feel it so terribly in that game. And from they dropped that catch, Bana, and I think John Campbell dropped some Evan Lewis at slip, I just thought that it was just not going to be Jamaica's game.
Yeah. So we've come to the end of the live, and it was a very good live. We have we touched on a lot of different sporting disciplines right throughout the entire show, and just a man. The first time I encountered this Chris Lynch brother, but honestly, the man is damn good.
A guru, man.
The man was good because the man could actually touch on every sporting discipline that I asked him about, and he just came up and just ripped up the information. Just to say this to you, Chris Lynch, want him back on the show.
Yeah, anytime he was.
We need him back on the show soon, man. And
yeah, man, anytime.
Once again, thanks to Ryan, because as you know that Ryan is one of our viewers' favorite person. A lot of them love the different voices on the show, and they love to see the different faces. And he's a Chelsea man, so you know that go with the Chelsea fans as well. I want to say thank you again to Jason, who has been here from the beginning. He was here from the get-go, and it was also started off talking about the tennis and all that. So thanks again, Jason, for passing through. And Demo joined for whatever reasons. Thanks for passing through, boss, man.
Big up.
Thanks to our producer, Josh Carter, making this possible, because without him, it's going to be possible. And Chris Lynch, man, say, don't come on any live again and talk about, so he must same feel hurt. Over the must say all that thing. But with that being said, though, tonight we have at least 30 viewers at one point, and we have over 200 comments easily. So thanks to all our viewers, to all our commenters, our first-time viewers or our first-time commenters. Please just continue supporting the Sports Frenzzyy live show, whether on Facebook, or you can go over and support it on YouTube at Sports Frenzzyy. So guys, just please, we ask you for the support. Continue doing it because we are going great. So thank you much. Until next time, peace out.